Good time of day, guys. My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi When They Cry, Ch.7 Minagoroshi. I feel like the volume is turned down for some fucking reason. No, it is not. What the fuck? That's a bit better. Alright. Last episode, Rika realized, wow, this time, we're kind of lucky with what we're starting with, because Keiichi is realizing how to be normal, Rena's realizing how to be normal, and Shion's realizing how to be normal. Good thing Mion and Satoko never get crazy and want to kill people. Thank God. Because Mion would definitely go ham, probably, at least under normal circumstances. Who fucking knows, though? I'd have to talk about some other stuff in order to think about that more, but it's not really a line of thought worth thinking about right now, because it hasn't happened, won't happen, who cares? Anyways, now we're here in Irie's clinic. I'm assuming we're still in, Rika's perspective, given what Irie's saying right here. Like, he wouldn't say this to Keiichi, I'm sure. So, yeah, seems like Rika's gonna try to get Tomitake, Takano, and Irie on her side to try and fight against fate. You know, the Power Rangers. Rika, Tomitake, Takano, and Irie. The very strange Power Rangers. The Power Strangers. Let's go. Alright, whatever. Let's just continue. Hello. I'm surprised to see you here on a day other than Sunday. I have something I want to ask Takano. Is she here today? No. She must be on a date with Risa-san. I wish I had a date too. Why do you call him Risa? Oh, is that a nickname for Tomitake? Oh. I don't understand. You should ask him yourself. It was a small mistake I made when we first met. It was funny how he reacted. I don't get it. That's what nicknames are all about, though. What did you want to talk to her about? I'll see her at the meeting tonight, so I'll take a message if you want. Thank you very much, but I'd rather talk to her directly. I see. Alright. I should get back to my work now, then. Are you not seeing any patients today? I've been busy with paperwork for the meeting tonight. I've been preparing it for a while, but I didn't have enough time. I'll get in trouble if it's not finished in time. Aren't you busy coaching the baseball team too? You have so much energy. I'm such a busy guy. I've been looking for a cute maid who would take care of the chores and help me with other work, but I've had no such luck. He laughed and looked at his watch. He seemed to be in a hurry. Do you have any idea where Takano is right now? They're probably going around to different places in the village. I know that they always meet at the shrine. She left not too long ago, so she might still be somewhere near there. I looked at the clock on the wall. I must have just missed her. This was no time to be chatting with Irie. Thank you very much. I'll try the shrine. You shouldn't bother those lovers, since they only see each other 4 times a year. He smiled mischievously and waved his hand in goodbye. I headed back to the shrine. I was going to park my bike by the stairs that lead to the shrine grounds. Oh, that's a whole sentence. Okay. Satsuko and I are the only people who park our bikes there normally, but I saw more than 10 bikes there today. People must be gathering at the convention room. There are more and more meetings when the Watanagashi festival draws closer. Seeing all these bikes reminded me that summer is nearly here. Most of the bikes were old and beat up. However, I saw 2 unfamiliar ones parked there. They were sporty mountain bikes with the same design but different colors. They must belong to Takano and Tomitake. I went up the stairs to look for the 2 of them, but I couldn't find either. Was there any place with a great view for taking pictures? Yeah, isn't there? I tried looking in places like that, but I still couldn't find them. So I started looking based on what Takano might be interested in. I could only think of one place. The storage shed, the storehouse, yeah. How is it? Jiro-san? It's a pretty simple lock. All I need is the right tool. I should be able to open it in a minute. You can do that? You opened the lock to my heart, but that's not the only thing you're good at, huh? I'm going to curse you. The two of them jumped in surprise as I suddenly appeared in front of them. Hello, Rika-chan. It wasn't nice of you to scare us like that. It's not nice to try and open the ritual storehouse's lock, either. She's right, Takano-san. We can't do something like that. Tomitake conceded right away, but Takano was stubborn. She made up excuses to try and fool me. Based on my previous lives, I knew just how much interest she had in this storehouse. It was actually rather impressive how hard she tried to cover that up. The ritual storehouse is full of the remainder of the dark history of Onigafuchi. It contains bloody and vicious tools that Takano is fascinated with. She should have a good idea as to what those things are inside of the storehouse, based on what she has been researching. She was making up some story about cultural treasures and such, but it was obvious that she was just making excuses. Tomitake also seemed impressed, listening to Takano's phony justifications. In the past, I've tried to conceal what was inside of the storehouse from Takano because I don't want her spreading information about the holy and brutal traditions they used to have in Onigafuchi village. It would be a disgrace. As a member of the Furude family, I can't let that happen. Looking at the history of Onigafuchi in the way Takano does is a painful thing for Hanyu as well. For Hanyu, the ritual storehouse is a special place. I don't know what's so nice about being surrounded by those scary ritual tools, but she feels cozy when she's surrounded by the smell of old times. This storage is like Hanyu's hideout. When I can't see her, she's usually relaxing in here. I don't want Hanyu's happy place to be turned into the bloody, horrifying den of evil Takano believes it to be. That's why I've been keeping Takano away from the ritual storehouse. Come to think of it, why am I so mean to her? Is it because I hate her? I should stop feeling that way. I have to keep in close contact with Takano and Tomitake. I won't give up just because it didn't work before. I'm going to try one more time. This world is different from the other ones. I might be able to change their fate, which in turn might change my own. Hanyu? Oh wait, Hanyu. I'm thinking about showing the ritual storehouse to Takano. Ow. Hanyu made an irritated face. Takano will lose herself in ecstasy if she sees what's inside of there. She'll run around spreading rumors of the bloody history of Onigafuchi. Hanyu wasn't too excited about that prospect. I'm not trying to curry favor with Takano, but I think it might give me a chance to talk to her. Takano holds on to grudges, so if I'm mean to her now, she might not listen to me later. Ow, ow, ow. I understand that Hanyu doesn't want her inside this holy place, but she can't do anything more than be irritated about it. I'm the only one who can make the ultimate decision. Besides, she'll forgive me if I promise to eat something sweet later. Which voice? Takano, if you would keep a secret, I'll let you in. Really? Inside the ritual storehouse? You don't mean inside an emergency shelter, right? I mean it. I'll let you into the ritual storehouse. You mean this storehouse? Inside of this building? I'm not trying to trick you or anything. I'll let you inside. Nipa. Nipa! I had never seen such a big smile on her face before. Now this is a miracle. I'm seeing this face for the first time in 100 years. Tomitake must be feeling the same way. His image of Takano was slowly falling apart as we spoke, I'm sure. No, maybe he just found a new side of her to love instead. I'm surprised that Takano is actually such a funny person. Communication is important. It's sometimes so hard to tell what people are all about. We remained there and watched Takano spinning into light for a while. Oh, actually, I fucking remembered a scene from the anime. There's some fucking gifs of it all over the place. Like, Christ.
This is a secret, so no one can see us going inside.
You're right. I'll try and calm her down.
I'll go get the keys now.
By the time I came back with the key, Takano was totally calm again. She was obviously trying to hide how gleeful she was, though. I thought she was a mature lady, but she might still be a kid at heart. I think they called that something like gap moe. That's what that means? Okay. I picked that term up at some point from Keiichi, but I'm still not sure how it's used. I've heard that phrase before too, and I also don't know what it means.
Well then, Takano and Tomitake, before we go inside, you must promise me something. Otherwise, you can't go in.
Of course. You're willing to break the rules to open the forbidden storehouse for us. We'll keep our promises. Takano-san, you have to take this seriously. I am taking it seriously. Okay.
My image of Takano is falling to pieces right now.
Same here. Her market is crashing all over the world. Rena said it before. It's not a good idea to think about problems all on your own. I always hated the crazy part of Takano, and I didn't want to be close to her. But I never thought she could act this way. She was acting almost like Rena does when in her cute mode. Had I known that she was as funny a person as this, I wouldn't have felt resentment toward her. I realize how important communicating can be.
First of all, you have to promise that you won't tell anybody that you went inside the storehouse. Do not tell anyone.
Of course I won't. I'll promise. Takano put her hands to her chest. She also forced Tomitake to do the same. It was funny to watch Tomitake trying to keep up with Takano, too.
Also, you can't damage anything inside the storehouse.
Of course not. Is it okay if I take pictures?
Meep. You can, but I'll charge 100 yen per picture.
What? How much money do you have on you right now, Jiro-san?
If you pay me 10,000 yen, you can take all the photos you want.
That's a good deal. I'll take it. Jiro-san! They paid me the money for real. Hanyu seemed excited, knowing that the money could be used for buying desserts.
Takano is such a good person.
You're so greedy. I finally got approval from Oyashiro-sama, the master of the storehouse. We'd have no more problems now. The ritual storehouse is behind the building with the convention room. Sometimes people come out for a cigarette break. I can't let anybody see us entering. You're good. You're good. No one is around. Tomitake checked out the scene and gave me the signal to go ahead. I nodded at him and unlocked the door. I pushed open the heavy door just far enough for us to sneak inside.
It'll look suspicious if you wait outside like that.
What? I can come inside too? He seemed surprised that I was asking him to come inside with us. Tomitake, of course, wasn't particularly interested in what was inside the storehouse. I expected his surprised reaction. Jiro-san! Rika-chan is telling you to come inside. Come on now! Alright. Tomitake squeezed inside as Takano urged him. I turned the light on and closed the door. Then I put the chain on from inside. You're locking us in?
Just so that a bad kitty cat won't sneak inside, you know?
Are you talking about me?
Takano, a cat is supposed to go all meow meow. Meepa.
What do you mean?
If you don't act like a cat, I'm not going to let you see what's in here. I brought cat ears and a collar with a bell for you, too.
What the Okay, this is so silly.
If you don't put them on, get on all fours and meow, then I won't open the next door.
The shrine storehouse has 2 doors so that people can't see inside when the first door is opened. At the moment, we were inside the entry chamber. The real storehouse is in the room beyond. What? That's a bad joke, Rika-chan. You wouldn't really... Huh? Oh, what the hell? I'll do it if I have to. Okay. You're testing me to see how devoted I am to my research, aren't you, Rika-chan? Fine. If that's what you want, then I'll wear cat ears, bloomers, and a tail, crawl on all 4s before an empty milk bowl, and beg, please let me drink your milk, master.
She definitely would have joined our club if she was around our age.
I agree. Hey, remember how they said shredded stocks fell like snow on Wall Street during the Great Crash? Takano's value right now reminds me of that. Bring it on, Rika-chan! Are you sure I only have to wear the ears and the collar? Takano-san? This door isn't even locked. See? Push and it opens. Really? My dear, how shameful of me. Tomitake has no sense of humor. He just turned off a lot of viewers who were looking forward to seeing Takano in the cat outfit. Okay, 4th wall is looking crumbly right now. It's also crashing.
Anyway, he's right. You just have to push it. Nipa.
Great bet game. Once we went through the door, we found ourselves inside the storage area. There were no windows in there, so it was completely dark, even during the day. There were several light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, but they were dim, and their light only exaggerated the darkness inside. Oyashiro-sama's statue and the altar dominated the center of the room. They were surrounded by tons of ancient torture implements. They were all over the floor, walls, and ceiling. It looked like a torture room, rather than just storage for tools intended for one. This is amazing. Tomitake was rendered speechless. They were nothing like those fake torture implements that they might have seen in a wax museum or someplace like that. The tools in this room are the genuine articles. I never liked to think about it, but I'm sure some of them really were used. These authentic tools always have a big impact on the people who see them. But Tomitake was the only one who was shocked, since he was the only normal person in the room. Takano's eyes were sparkling. She was taking pictures while meowing like a cat. This place isn't special to me. Of course, I know I'm supposed to treat it as a holy place, but I'm so used to seeing all of these things after coming here countless times since I was little. To me, it's nothing but a storehouse with a lot of old stuff inside. As for Hanyu, she says it's the only place the air from times past lingers in this present day, so she actually finds it comforting. I get in a good mood when I come here, because Hanyu gets in a good mood. This is a relaxing place for her. As I watch Tomitake's reaction, I notice how totally off my values are from normal people's. Takano's reaction seemed more natural to me, in a sense. Hanyu seemed to be bothered by Tomitake's reaction, too. Maybe it was a bad idea to let him come inside after all. Not like I could kick him out at this point. Hanyu and I sat on a cushion in front of the altar, and watched Takano dance with childish glee while Tomitake made touching efforts to keep up. I wonder why they made so many torture implements. The whole purpose of torture is to make people confess something, right? Why was it necessary for them to have so many? Jiro-san, do you know that there are 2 ways to threaten people with torture implements? The first one is to inflict pain on the victim. The other way is to threaten the victim just by showing him the tools. In that sense, having a countless number of them can give tremendous fear to the victim. I've heard that torture requires skill. I suppose it's hard to really hurt people without killing them. Tomitake acted like he's having a conversation with Takano, but his voice was obviously unsteady. Some Western torture implements were so vicious that if they really used it on the victim, they would have killed him instantly. To be precise, there are two types of torture implements. First, there are simple tools that are simply used to make the victim confess. The other type is for entertaining those who are watching the torture. I'm frustrated that some people can't tell the difference between those two. Let me ask you, what were they trying to gain from the victims by using these tools?
Tomitake asked me that. He must have thought that Takano would say something far more scary if he asked her. He's forgetting that I'm just a little innocent girl.
I think they were forcing their victims to obey the rules of Onigafuchi Village. That's what I believe. Am I right?
Yes, you are. Most of these tools were never built for actual use. They were simply displayed in front of the villagers to intimidate them. That's why there are records saying that when they actually tried to use them, some of them were the wrong size or simply malfunctioned.
So they really did use some of them then? That's not a pleasant story.
Some people were just not obedient, despite the threats of Oyashiro-sama's curse.
Hey, Rika-chan, are you sure that these tools were mainly used to intimidate people in the village? I've heard that these were used for cooking and dissecting during the real Watanagashi.
Hanyu was making a frustrated face. She didn't want to remember the dark history of Onigafuchi Village. People performed countless torture ceremonies in front of her, claiming that they were doing it in her name, the name of Oyashiro-sama. She asked them not to do that, but no one was able to hear or see her. No comment. Nipa.
She always talks to me about it too. Long ago, the villagers of Onigafuchi would receive a divine message, go down to the foot of the mountain, kidnap people, and eat them, right? I wonder why they did that. Was it a display of force or something? I believe it was a type of ceremony to make them all realize they were higher on the food chain. The greatest outspoken reasons Onigafuchi forbade intermingling...
Wait, this sentence is fucking with my mind.
The greatest outspoken reasons Onigafuchi forbade intermingling...
Huh? What? Oh, okay, now I understand what the sentence is. Okay. Sometimes English is hard, guys. The grammar's fucking stupid, and it sometimes just doesn't have rules, I guess.
The greatest outspoken reasons Onigafuchi forbade intermingling with outsiders were that the village was a holy land, and that they were transcendents, greater beings than humans. Mingling with tainted humans will bring corruption. That's what they were taught. So they probably needed to reaffirm their idea that they were above humans at regular intervals. In Japan, there was a tradition of displaying severed heads on pikes. While such a warning is inhumane, it's an extremely good deterrent. The victim was brutally tortured in public, and then they were eaten alive. What would you think if you saw something like that? Anyone would simply think that they wouldn't want to be in that same situation. There's also a history of crucifixion in this country. They hung the victim and stabbed him with spears in front of an audience. You probably know this already, Jiro-san, but people don't really die from being stabbed once or twice. They might have a chance to die if they were stabbed in the stomach or chest, but it's not instant like a guillotine. They bled from their wounds, their guts were pulled out, and they eventually died by drowning in their own blood. In that sense, a guillotine is such a merciful tool. Did you know? The guillotine was invented for the nobility.
Yeah, I know. The fucking French Revolution is the whole ass unit that they always do at the beginning of every history class you take in high school, and it takes like a month for them to go over every fucking detail. I know everything about the guillotine. It was made by someone whose name sounds the same as it, right? And fucking Maximilian Robespierre or whatever the fuck. Like, I get it. I can probably skip this part, but I'll read it anyways.
It was invented because they were able to die instantly, which wasn't the case with shooting or hanging. The nobles got special treatment all the way up to death. There's an old black and white movie that I know of. It's a love story set during the French Revolution, but the final guillotine scene is the best part.
The nobles are lined up and bound in chains, and they get publicly executed on the guillotine one by one. Then they use their heads as bowling balls. Snap! Next, snap! Next, snap! Human lives are taken away like they're on a conveyor belt. There's no last words or prayers or anything. Snap! Next, snap! It's not even that entertaining because it's over in a flash. No one holds any sentiment for the deaths. The audience enjoys how the nobles' heads are sliced off like vegetables. It's like a show to them. I think it's more respectful to kill someone slowly and brutally. That way, people will pay a little bit more attention to them, right? Oyashiro-sama here was the one who made this brutal torture possible. Takano raises her hand to honor the statue of Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama is just an idol created by human beings. That idol was worshipped with fear and made divine. Yes, people laid the bricks of his church with rules and doctrines, strengthening it with the mortar of curses and malediction. Is it malediction or malediction? I never learned how to pronounce that word. As they stacked and stacked those bricks up high, its height reached up to heaven, and their god was placed above it all. Gods are born because people desire them. So when people seek to rule others with fear, they become the collection of blood, torture, and pure terror. And here, they call that god Oyashiro-sama. In other words, this proves that the stairs to godhood are built not by gods, but by human hands, and shows the way for us humans to attain further heights and... Her passionate lecture was interrupted by a loud noise. As I looked back, Hanyu was jumping up and down with her eyes full of tears. Yeah, that figures. Thud, thud, thud. She was stomping the floor as hard as she could, making a loud noise instead of screaming out with her unheard voice. However, it all amounted to the same thing. Hanyu cannot be heard by people. It's not right. That's not right. I'm not like that. Hanyu. I hate seeing people getting tortured or killed. I want people to be happy together. Of course, not everything is perfect, but I never asked people to do such horrible things. Hanyu, you are who you are. Oyashiro-sama has nothing to do with you. That's not right. That's not right. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. I hate Takano. I hate her. She always says horrible things about me. She's a bully. Was it a bad idea for me to bring Takano in here? I knew that Takano would get overstimulated and say something like this. Fortunately, Hanyu's rejection indirectly reached Takano, and she stopped lecturing. Somehow, Tomitake had heard the noise that Hanyu made. He pressed his finger in front of his lips and told Takano to be quiet. What is it? Well, I just heard a sound like a child was jumping around. There might be a child somewhere near this building. Really? I didn't hear anything. I'm sure I heard it. Takano-san, we're here in secret. I think you should look around without making any noise. Takano seemed disappointed, but Tomitake was right. She had no choice but to be quiet. Tomitake, there are no children around this place. Are you sure? You didn't hear it either? I'm sure I heard a noise. I heard it too, but it wasn't coming from outside the building. It was jumping right behind me. I guess you heard it from far away, but it was very loud to me. I was standing in front of the altar, and the statue of Oyashiro-sama was right behind me. Tomitake seemed freaked out after hearing what I just told him. Although he was trying to fake a smile, his face was turning pale. However, Takano didn't seem scared at all. Takano, you can't say things that would upset Oyashiro-sama in front of him. Oyashiro-sama is very angry now. Can't you hear his voice? It's fortunate that she can't, to be honest. Even if she heard it, it would be nothing but tears.
My job as a shrine maiden is to begin with is to tell humans what Oyashiro-sama is feeling. I'm responsible for speaking on Hanyu's behalf. Takano must have realized that I was very serious about what I just said. She apologized to me right away. I'm sorry. I took it too far. I'm sorry, Oyashiro-sama. You are a god, as long as people worship you. Even though I may not worship you, you are still holy. I'm sorry for disrespecting you.
Oyashiro-sama loves sweet food. You'll get cursed unless you offer something sweet through me.
Tomitake couldn't help but smile. Takano also smiled. She bowed to me, promising to bring over some cream puffs soon. Takano finally stopped saying bad things about Oyashiro-sama. She also promised to bring me something sweet. Hanyu was still upset, but she was probably satisfied for the moment. But I didn't know what she meant by the 3 fingers she was showing to me. Was she telling me to ask Takano for that too? Being her shrine maiden is not an easy thing.
Oyashiro-sama is saying that he wants at least 3 cream puffs. I just want to make it clear that it's not me asking for that.
They took it as a joke I made to reduce the tension. Tomitake and Takano cracked up, holding their stomachs. Hanyu was also looking at them with surprise, not knowing why they were laughing. My face, meanwhile, was turning red with embarrassment. Fine, I'll get 3 delicious cream puffs for Oyashiro-sama. Should I get some for you and Satoko-chan too?
No, I don't need any. But there is something that I want to tell you.
What is it? Since you let me inside the storehouse today, I'm willing to do anything for you now.
Then, I want you to believe what I'm about to tell you now. Please don't ask me why or make fun of me. Please believe me, and change fate to save me.
We're probably gonna have to switch to her, looping voice, right? Both of them are surprised to see such a serious look on my face. I was sure they'd be surprised. After all, I was about to explain to them that they were going to die in 2 days. I'm sure they'd want to deny that, but I knew a fair bit about their deaths. If I could explain it to them in detail, they wouldn't be able to laugh it off. I talked to them about it several times in previous lives, but they never took it seriously. I only had that slight possibility that they might believe me. Hopefully, the possibility is as small as a miracle. It should be engraved on the side of a die. My friends overcame their fates, and they all rolled a 6. Should I call that a miracle? Please, God, let me roll a 6 again. Please let them believe that death is upon them. Oh. Dun dun. Alrighty. I'd imagine no tip. Doesn't seem like it. Alright, cool. Oh, shit. Okay, Are we skipping that conversation? Or are we gonna go back to it at some point, and this is something that's happening in the meantime? Irie turned the light on as soon as he finished his presentation. There were about 8 men wearing lab coats inside the meeting room. The man sitting at the far end was the only person without one. Upon seeing Irie finish his speech, he clapped his hands several times. Having noticed his applause, the other men in the room soon followed suit. Oh, yo? Nice fucking outfit, Tomitake. Seeing you without your hat is weird, though. Better than your hat being backwards, though. Oh my fucking god. Excellent. Very, very excellent. I'm quite satisfied with your progress. Your hard work has paid off, Dr. Irie. No, I would say it's because of my incredible staff. I really do owe them my gratitude. We really are getting close to finding a perfect cure. There are a few more sticking points left, but they can all be resolved with time and financing. We're counting on your support on that front. With sufficient funding and labor, I estimate we'll be done within 3 years. By 1986, we should be able to establish a complete treatment for it. From here on out, our challenges are establishing a treatment package that other, unspecialized medical facilities can easily administer,
and developing an easier, cheaper test for it. With regards to testing, Dr. Irie is currently researching ways to detect potential patients through blood samples. Once that process is established, the test can be administered alongside regular physical exams, and we believe that will drive costs down significantly. That's wonderful to hear. The current tests are pretty involved and expensive after all. Sorry, I'm truly grateful to hear that you're considering the cost too. Healthy citizens are supposed to be our nation's assets, so it really is shameful to bring up the budget, but from our position, we'd like to shave every yen we can off the costs. Of course, we understand. If we established a treatment that was impossible due to the cost, it'd just be a pie in the sky. It's our job to develop a practical treatment, not a theoretical one. Tomitake started clapping again, and everyone followed him. You're truly a respectable man, as well as a talented doctor. I'm honored to have met you. No, I can't sincerely accept your applause until every person has been treated, and the so-called curse of Oyashiro-sama has been exterminated. We hope for your continued cooperation until that time. Likewise, I'll do everything I can to make sure you receive almost every yen in the budget you've outlined. Please keep up the good work. Tomitake and Irie shook hands, and the meeting room was filled with applause yet again. That's it for tonight's meeting. Tomorrow's the main event we're all waiting for, the budget hearing. Let's all push hard. Takano was being sarcastic, of course. The staff members in lab coats were smiling bitterly. Well, I'll give my greatest efforts for the budget you all need to. I'm bad at reading sometimes. To be honest, I want to be on your side myself. But I'm the one who has to explain things to the brass, and the one they come down on directly. You have my deepest apologies, but regretfully, I'll be rigorously examining the budget. Please continue lending me your cooperation. That's your job, so we can't blame you. We'll see you tomorrow. In any case, that's it for today. Once Irie declared the meeting over, his white-coated staff gathered up their documents and left after glancing at the clock. It was almost midnight. The staff who were off tomorrow might be alright, but those scheduled to work needed to sleep soon, or it would hinder them the next day. Takano gathered up the butts from the ashtrays as well as the empty coffee cans. My, some people didn't drink their coffee. We managed to get a coffee budget for meetings approved, but I wonder if they'll cut that budget if people don't drink it. Don't be so mean. I'm not doing this because I enjoy it, you know? Oh, Takano-san, I'll take that leftover coffee. I'll take one too. That way the budget won't go to waste. Ha 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 ha. The two of them seemed more relaxed with the other staff members gone. Tomitake and Irie loosened their collars in a sign of relief. How are Rika-chan and Satoko-chan? Are they doing fine? I heard last week that Satoko-chan's test results weren't that good recently. No, but it actually wasn't that big of a deal. She was a bit out of sorts because of the heat wave. Her new results came out very stable. Dr. Irie is very passionate about Satoko-chan. That's not true. As a physician, I treat all of my patients equally, to the best of my ability. But if she feels grateful and decides to become my maid, that would be wonderful. Though that's proving quite difficult. It would be wonderful if there was a way to completely cure Satoko-chan, but I guess that's what's difficult. Once a patient reaches the level 5 state like Satoko-chan has, it's easy for them to re-experience hallucinations, similar to a patient suffering from flashbacks. Those technically aren't caused by the disease, but by the normal defense mechanisms cultivated in the brain. Like the idiom, a scalded dog fears cold water suggests, the brain naturally uses past experiences proactively for our survival. In simpler terms, emotional trauma. Worse yet, we suspect she may have suffered damage directly to her frontal lobe, so she needs more delicate counseling and long-term medication than the usual trauma patient. You may be able to treat her illness, but you can't treat her mental health. Is that what you are saying? There are plenty of people functioning in society with emotional trauma. Even if she's just one more to the mix, that's still a miraculous recovery considering the state she used to be in. Think about diabetic patients. There's no cure, but many of them live happily by managing their condition. She still needs 3 shots a day? No, she's recovered quite a bit, so she's down to twice a day now. I think that puts a lot less strain on her, too. She was so afraid in the beginning, but Rika-chan talked her into it. Into getting the shots, you mean? Satoko-chan was told that she's receiving financial support from us by supporting our research. So she thinks that she's getting 2 shots a day, not because she's sick, but as a test subject for your research. Jiro-san, it would be a horrible thing for us to explain to her what kind of illness she's suffering from. Didn't I tell you this before? Oh, well, I remember. Sorry for being insensitive. If you happen to see Satoko-chan somewhere, please be kind to her. Alright, I will. Rika-chan is such a strong girl. Her background is similar to Satoko-chan's, yet she's leading such a steady life. We have Rika-chan and her deceased parents to thank for all of this. Without their understanding and support, we would have never discovered even a hint at a cure so soon. She even endured our inhumane experiments very well. We wouldn't have the results we do today without her support after overcoming her parents' death. Deaths is a hard word to say, I'm not gonna lie. I'd like to repay the debt we owe her somehow. I agree. Tokyo also recognizes that Rika-chan and Satoko-chan have rendered us a distinguished service. I'm not saying that word anymore. They will be compensated for their work someday. Hey, you guys don't even want to pay for our coffee filters. Again, don't be mean. You keep bringing that story up. Ha 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 ha. But even though all we can do is to compensate them with money, I wish there was a way to pay them back from our hearts. Takano muttered like she's talking to herself, but it almost sounded as if she was talking to them. I'm sure there are many ways for us to show our appreciation. There are many ways we can pay them back. Dr. Irie, Coach, I guess you're already doing that for them all the time. I suppose I should be nice to those girls too. Indeed. Plus, Rika-chan was very nice to you today. I nearly forgot. I have to take that film to get developed first thing in the morning. It was such a wonderful experience. History, culture, the smell of it. Everything about it was wonderful. Irie wondered what she could have experienced during the day. Tomitake could only smile and act like he didn't know anything. By the way, Takano-san, what do you think of what Rika-chan told us near the end today? What are your thoughts? I want to believe that it's only paranoia. She did say that there's no absolute proof either. What's going on? From what you've said, it sounds like Rika-chan is showing some bad symptoms. Her test results from last week. I thought they came out pretty good, but did you see anything different, Dr. Irie? No. They were as stable as always. If Satoko-chan's results are a wave during high tide, Rika-chan's are the quiet surface of a lake. Just like their personalities. What's the possibility of a sudden outbreak? What are you talking about? Don't tell me Rika-chan is showing symptoms of the disease progressing. Rika-chan asked us for something today. She wanted our protection because she feels like someone is going to murder her. No way. Who would try to kill her? That's impossible. Rika-chan is a beloved mascot here in the village, and I don't think she has any enemies. I think it was just her imagination, too. Why does she think that someone is trying to kill her? If she's experiencing paranoia, she may be in the early level 5 stage. She said she saw it in her dreams. She wants us to reinforce security around her because she feels threatened. For a young girl like that, it's not uncommon to get scared after having a nightmare. But we need to determine if it was really just a dream, or if she's showing early symptoms of the disease. Okay, let's give her an urgent checkup tomorrow. I really hope nothing is wrong. She's the most valuable person in this village. I hope she's okay. But what should we do if she is? Jiro-san, if that's what she wants in return for what she showed us today, it's not even a big deal. If she's worried about her safety and wants to rely on us, I think we should support her. That's what paying her back with our hearts is all about. You're right. Even if she was just dreaming, we'll lose her trust if we don't support her. This is our chance. We found a way to show her our appreciation. Yeah, I agree. Besides, she has a right to seek that support from us. Yes, we have to make sure to protect her at all times. That's true. Though that's your job, not mine. So please, give her your best. Understood. Takano-san, please do what you can to keep her safe. It's probably not so serious and we need to bring in the bloodhounds from Tokyo. True, you can't just ask them to come over just because Rika Furude had a nightmare. Alright. I'll order at least 4 members of the Mountain Dogs to watch her 24 hours a day. That's impressive. That's tighter security than when I went to Tokyo. She deserves special treatment. I'll make sure she gets the best security in the country. No one would dare plot an assassination on her. I'll get the best bodyguards out there. Not even a super spy could lay a finger on her. Meow meow. Onikafuchi Banzai. Okay. Takano-san, did something good happen? Well, I mean... Am I gonna get an episode that's longer than 52 minutes? Like, ever? Please have a tip. Please have a tip. No! I could continue, but I'm not gonna. I guess I can talk about something real quick. I'm just gonna out and say it. Mild spoiler time for the rest of the episode. I'm not going into full spoilers, but mild spoiler time. For the rest of the episode, which is not going to be that long, but still. So, have a good day. See you guys next time if you don't want to hear the spoilers. Otherwise, continue on. I'm even going to pull up the menu just in case. Okay. So, mild spoiler time. Fucking Evan. My God! I don't know how many people actually watched the whole torture chamber. But there were several instances, especially like around the episode 2 mark before Tomitake dies in Onikakushi, where Evan was just like, yeah, he's part of the military, he has dog tags. Christ, Evan, do you... Ugh. Like, it was borderline a running gag in that video, and also Watanagashi, but I don't fully remember everything that we said there because I haven't started editing that yet. Of Evan just guessing things right. Like, he was more or less just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. But about, like, a third of the things he said were usually right. Of course, like, it's usually minor stuff, but it's stuff like... Like, even the joke, like, first thing you should Google is, does the blue-haired girl die? Yup, and that's the whole fucking point, Evan. That is the entire point. And then, like, him saying Tomitake's in the military. Yup, he sure is. And it's fucking stupid that you're able to guess it that easily. Major spoiler time now for the rest of Higurashi, I suppose, because of one joke in particular that I remember he made in Watanagashi. He was... I don't fully remember what he said. This wasn't in the Onikakushi one. It was in the Watanagashi one. But he was... He alluded several times to Takano being the culprit behind everything. And it's like, yup, that's right. Of course, he's just joking. He's joking about fucking everything possible. Like, he would joke about Mion using the gun on one person, but she never uses the gun at all. Not even once does she use a gun. Like, unless you count the fucking toy guns at the festival, but she never uses the gun in her holster. So, red herring. Granted, I think her having a gun in the first place is a red herring, but yeah, that's besides the point. Or like, the fact that he, you know, despite all the jokes he made that he got right, like with Tomitake and Rika dying, he got basically nothing of what happened in Onikakushi correct, because he's just like, yeah, Rena and Mion, scary people, want to kill Keiichi, the janitors, who are actually the mountain dogs, right? Or the bloodhounds, one or the other. I can't remember, but they're military people on Takano's side, I believe, but I can't fully remember. I'm sure they'll up and say it at some point during this chapter or the next, but I can't fucking remember. Regardless, him just more or less thinking, yeah, Keiichi's in the right for what happened in Onikakushi. Sure, he killed people, but they were gonna kill him anyways. But, like, he got none of that shit. Like, the needle, he didn't know it didn't exist. The syringe, he didn't know it was a marker. I even alluded to so many things being the case. Like, I like being roundabout with telling people things sometimes. Like, as evidenced by so many of my fucking videos with those two. Especially the fucking Genshin trivia video, which got like 4 views, but I made Colby do a whole ass trivia game to give him $100. And we did it. And I did that purely for the fucking fun of it. But even in the torture chamber, I did shit like that. I would just semi-joke about shit like saying, oh, Mion doesn't have a twin, and joking at the very end where they show Shion working in the maid outfit as, like, the preview for the next episode, the first part of Watanagashi. I'm just like, yup, that's Mion's twin sister, Shion. I even stuttered on purpose to make it sound like I was thinking of a fake name. And then it ended up, you know, being real. And there were several other moments like that. Like, I said, the marker is important. You see, she's going to draw on his face. And I even, when they have the fucking syringe scene, I said, yeah, something that happened in the visual novel that didn't happen in the anime is, Tomitake, the quote-unquote military guy who died, he played games with the kids at the festival, and he lost, so his punishment game was them drawing on his shirt with a marker. I don't remember if they said in the anime, we're gonna do to you what we did to Tomitake, but, you know, that's why I mentioned back during Sumihoroboshi, the difference between the Onikakushi anime and the Onikakushi visual novel is the anime doesn't have these fucking hints. There's no hints about the needle other than the fact that it's straight up missing. Entirely. But there's not even the trash bag for him to rip through. Like, at least in the visual novel, he rips through the trash bag to try and find it. And, yeah, he leaves a note. Was there a needle? That was not in the anime at all. He just checks the trash, empty, taken out. He checks the sink. There's nothing in the fucking thingamabobber. The little, drainer. Is that what it's called? The draining rack? Yeah, the draining rack. So, yeah, there's no hints in the Onikakushi anime as to what actually happened. The doorway scene never happens. He never talks about hearing someone following him. That never happens. They don't draw on Tomitake's shirt. That never fucking happens. Which is why it makes the revelation that happens in Sumihoroboshi, it's going to be so fucking good when we get there. It's going to be so fucking good, and I'm so excited. But we do have to get through Tatarigoroshi, Himatsubushi, and Mayakashi first. But hey, when we get to Sumihoroboshi, they're going to be like, what? And it's going to be fucking it's going to be so awful, but I'm going to fucking love it. It's going to be so fucking good, which is why I'm hoping Onikakushi is going to be overall the worst quality torture chamber I ever fucking do, at least for Higurashi, because I plan on doing it for other shows in the future. I even joked about doing it for Future Diary and not Rent-A-Girlfriend, even though that's a candidate too. Domestic Girlfriend. Joked about doing ones for those in the video. I might have cut out the jokes for those, so I don't remember. I definitely did not cut out the one for Domestic Girlfriend, though. I vividly remember that, but yeah, either fucking way.
It's gonna be fucking crazy seeing how it continues. Because, like, I'm excited, especially for Higurashi right now. Because we should be doing that in, like, a couple weeks. Colby's gonna be fully vaccinated, the 17th of this month. He's getting his second shot Thursday, the 3rd. So we should be able to record it, hopefully the weekend of the 19th-ish. But that depends on if they're fucking free. Because sometimes Evan's working. Granted, Evan doesn't have to show up. It's mostly for Colby. But still, I'm fucking excited to see him see everyone die in Higurashi. It's gonna be so fucking good. So, yeah, Hinamizawa, I don't know what to expect from him. But, yeah, whatever. At least, maybe he'll like Akasaka. I don't fucking know. But, yeah, that's really all I fucking have to say. So we're gonna leave quote-unquote spoiler time now. And now it's time to do the outro. Hopefully next episode will be over an hour, but at least my rambling here brought us up another 5 to 10 minutes. Regardless, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, then be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like it, then fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!